Cyn. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, go ahead and click the subscribe button. So this is going to be a video on what I eat in a day to lose weight. The first thing that I eat is breakfast, and I'm going to be using these shredded hash browns from Trader Joe's, which is my favorite. My oil of choice is avocado oil, but sometimes I do like to incorporate coconut oil, but I've been really feeling avocado oil lately. So I'm going to be placing the potatoes on my skillet. I do like to watch my portions in the morning because I do not want to have anything heavy on my stomach before I head to the gym. So I do like to portion out my meals proportionately. Now I'm going to use 2 eggs, and these are the brown eggs that I do get from Trader Joe's as well. Y'all know I am below Trader Joe's. I love Trader Joe's. It's like my go-to supermarket, and Whole Foods, but Whole Foods can get a little pricey. So I'm simply just preparing my eggs the way that I like to do them, which is mainly like Caribbean style. So I'm going to whisk the eggs, and then I'm going to use a couple of things in my eggs. I'm going to be using some diced yellow onions to put into my eggs, and I'm going to be using a lot of seasoning, because if you're not sneezing, you're not seasoning. So I'm going to be using some garlic powder, lemon pepper. I'm also going to be using some parsley, Creole seasoning, and I'm going to also add red pepper flakes. I like to be a little bit more mindful of how much salt is going into my food as well. So I'm just going to be adding all of those seasoning into my eggs, and I'm just waiting for the hash browns to get a little bit golden before placing my eggs in the skillet. So this is just me making sure that my potatoes are to my liking. Everyone likes their hash browns a little different. I like mine to be a little bit crunchy but soft on the inside. So that is how my hash browns are looking. I'm just going to simply plate them and leave them to the side so I can work on my eggs. Now I'm going to be adding my eggs to the skillet, and of course I'm going to scramble them. But before I scramble my eggs, I am going to add spinach. And I'm just trying to get my greens in because I am anemic. You guys know I'm still recovering from my surgery, so I want to get as much greens in as I possibly can. So adding my greens to my eggs, or any way I can add them, I'm going to add spinach, I'm going to use kale, I'm going to use, you know, anything, mixed greens, to try to get that hemoglobin up. Sometimes I do 2 soft-boiled eggs, but today I was really feeling scrambled eggs today, so I'm going to plate that. Now, if you've been watching me for a while, you do know that I love this tomato medley that I make. It's like a tomato salad. I put some avocado oil and some lemon pepper on it, and it tastes absolutely amazing. You can use any oils. You can use coconut oil, you can use sunflower oil, but I tend to gravitate to avocado oil. Now, I'm going to be making my coffee. Now, this coffee from Trader Joe's, I've been loving it. It's something new that I've been trying, but this Arabic coffee is so good, and their oat cream brown sugar, oh my god, I've been drinking this every single day. I try to watch my caffeine intake. Sometimes I do switch it out for matcha, but this is so good, and it's in my You Are Magic cup that I do sell on my site. So if you want to shop with me, it'll be linked down below. But the brown sugar creamer from Trader Joe's is chef's kiss. Now we are on to lunch, and some of the ingredients that I'm going to be using is salmon, avocado. I'm going to be using sweet potato, zucchini, squash, and mushrooms for this next meal. So I'm just going to be simply slicing my potato. I'm also going to be slicing my zucchini and my squash, because I do want all of my veggies to be sliced and smaller to eat. And plus, sweet potatoes take a while to kind of cook. So the smaller you cut them, the faster they will kind of cook. And of course, squash and zucchini, they do cook fairly easy or fairly fast, so I'm just going to be cutting them into slices. Here are all my veggies sliced up, and now I'm going to move on to the salmon. So I'm going to be taking the skin off all of my salmon. Before I do that, I'm going to rinse it under some water. Then I'm going to carefully slice the skin off the salmon. Now, the reason why I am taking the skin off the salmon is because I am going to cut them into cubes. I usually cook my salmon just whole like this underneath the oven, but I wanted to try something fairly new for me, I should say. I'm going to be cooking my salmon in my cast iron skillet. Now, the reason why I use a cast iron skillet is because I am iron deficient. I need iron as much as possible because my hemoglobin is too low after, you know, having surgery and having to have a blood transfusion. So I'm very carefully monitoring my iron levels. So I want to use my cast iron skillet as much as I possibly can, just because I want the iron to be in my food, or just mixed, or just cooked into my food, I should say. So I'm just going to be slicing them into cubes, and this is my veggies. So you want to be careful that you don't cross contaminate, so that's why I leave my veggies off to the side and my meat all the way to the left. Now I'm going to be using my cast iron skillet, and I'm going to be using a little bit of avocado oil, so I'm just going to spray a little bit into the pan. Now I'm going to be cooking my sweet potatoes first, because like I said, they do take a while to cook down. So I'm going to be applying the sweet potato first, and then I'll be adding the zucchini, and then I will be adding the squash. Now as those things are cooking, I'm going to marinate, or I'm going to add seasoning to my salmon, because I'm from the Caribbean, and disrespect if you don't season your food. So I'm using Creole seasoning, red pepper flakes, and this is going to give it some flavor. Then I'm going to be adding some garlic powder, garlic salt as well, that's mixed in, and then I'm going to be using some lemon pepper that I have left over because I was running out, and some chili powder as well. And I'm going to just use some parsley. I completely forgot about that. And I'm going to mix all of that into my salmon just to give it some flavor. Usually I would leave this overnight in my refrigerator, but I was on a time crunch, so I am making sure the sweet potatoes are nice and golden, and I like to have a little char on my sweet potatoes. I'm going to be using the zucchini and the squash and applying it into my cast iron skillet. You want to be careful using a cast iron skillet because it gets incredibly hot, and you do not want to touch anything because you will burn yourself. Then I'm going to be adding my mushrooms to my cast iron skillet, and I'm going to basically mix all of these flavors together. I'm going to be taking my sweet potato and plating them to the side because I did not want to overcook my sweet potatoes, and they were to my liking. Then I'm going to apply my salmon to the cast iron skillet, and I just put my vegetables all the way to the left because I want them to cook just a little bit more, and then I put the salmon all the way to the right, so I just don't want them to touch. People have an issue with food touching, and I don't have that issue, but when I cook in my cast iron skillet, I don't like my food to touch. So this is me plating it, and then I'm adding 1 avocado. So this is just veggies and a protein for lunch. So I get really snacky during the day, so I'm going to be using this organic acai puree packet that I got from Trader Joe's, which I didn't know they had until recently, and this is my first time trying it on camera. So this is my protein, I guess, a granola bowl or an acai bowl that I'm going to be making at home, which was really fun to make. I'm going to be using strawberries, bananas, peanut butter, granola. I'm going to be using a little bit of biotin, and I'm going to be using pineapple. So place my acai in some hot water. Then once it's kind of to my liking or temperature, I'm going to put it inside of my bowl. And this was the most fun part for me, was just creating my acai bowl. So I'm just slicing some bananas, which I do love bananas. I'm going to be adding a little bit of pineapples as well, and it was so fun creating it because I was just like, look at me creating my own acai bowl, thinking I'm that it girl. Then I'm going to be adding some biotin to my bowl because I need that for my hair, my skin, and my nails to look poppin' all year round. And I'm going to be adding some strawberries as well. Make your bowl any way that you would like. I'm going to be using some peanut butter protein granola, which I got from Trader Joe's, and oh my god, it was absolutely amazing. I love granola, so I'm going to be adding a little bit to my bowl as well. Then I'm going to be adding 1 scoop of creamy peanut butter to my acai bowl as well. And this is the finishing touch, and this is pretty much what I eat in a day. I try to stay within my calories, and I don't really eat too much, so this is pretty much what I do eat throughout the day. Hopefully you guys like this video. Please subscribe, like, comment, and tell me some of the stuff that you guys like to eat during the day, and leave them down below. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.